Hi, my name is Alec Cotton. This is for Conservation Biology, Bio 230, and I'm here to talk about the Oceanic whitetip shark on a presentation for endangered species. The Oceanic whitetip shark, also known as its scientific name, Carcarnis longimanus, and here is the order of taxonomy, so obviously kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. I'm not going to go through all those and waste time trying to pronounce those names. They're very, very difficult, but as you can see here, by this wonderfully portrayed artistic portrayal of the Oceanic whitetip, it is a very long shark with very large fins, and that is why it is considered endangered. As you can see in this picture, it is over amplified how large their fins actually are, but in the slide previous and in the next couple slides, you will see that they are targeted for their fins for soup and other things such as that. So a couple characteristics of the Oceanic whitetip. They can go up to 13 feet in length, and the maximum recorded weight of an Oceanic whitetip is 370 pounds. So relatively relatively smaller on the shark scale, but they are still obviously very large sharks, weighing in at almost maximum recorded weight of 2 tons. Sexual dimorphism, so females are slightly larger than the males. Like I said, not anything too big, and they give birth every 10 to 12 months, so basically yearly, of 1 to 15 young. Their diet is mostly bony fish, so tuna, mackerel, because they swim in ocean waters. These sharks are very good at swimming long distances with very little food. They are known as almost desert sharks, per se, because they swim through the dead zone of the ocean where there's no reefs or anything. So they have to swim long distances on very little food. Here's a short video on the Oceanic whitetip.
Hundreds of miles from any shore, another ninja cruises the open ocean, patiently waiting for its moment to strike. The Oceanic whitetip.
Oceanic whitetip is one of the most beautiful sharks in the ocean. They've developed these huge, big pectoral fins that help conserve energy.
Those large paddle-like fins allow them to glide and take a break between tail beats. You can think about it a little bit like riding a bike and coasting in between pedals.
The Oceanic whitetip can do these huge, long migrations without food sources. Once they see something happening in the ocean, they go to investigate what it is. They are a very, very bold shark.
They live far from land, far from nutrients, like a food desert.
They call it an opportunistic feeder. Once you're dead in the water, you're up for grabs. You're just another thing to be cleaned out.
The whitetip, about 6 feet long, has evolved the patience of a Zen warrior, but when food is suddenly plentiful, it launches into a feeding frenzy. Sometimes the windfall is horrifying.
Okay, so there, in the next part of the video, I'll explain it. They go into talking about the USS Indianapolis, which, for those of you that don't know, was the ship, the United States ship that delivered both atomic bombs to the Pacific Ocean, where then later we dropped them on Japan. So shortly after the USS Indianapolis dropped off the bombs, it was hit by a Japanese torpedo from a submarine. The ship sank in 12 minutes. There were 900 men aboard the ship. Only 317 survived. It was approximated that about 150 of those to 160 of those men were eaten by Oceanic whitetip sharks alone. Obviously not all 600 deaths were caused by sharks, some were by drowning, some were by other sharks. But about 150 to 160 were by oceanic whitetips, and that is the deadliest shark attack in one sitting collectively. So just to show you how opportunistic these predators are, they really take advantage of something that happens. So the oceanic whitetip, as I said, they go really long times without eating, but as soon as there is food in the water, blood in the water per se, they can attack. So a little bit more about why the oceanic whitetip is endangered. As I was mentioning earlier, their dorsal and pectoral fins are very, very large. As you can see in the top picture, they have very large fins. So they're obviously the less sharks you will need based on how big their fins are. If you look here, this is their range. So the IUCN Red List designation, they designated the Northwest Atlantic and Central Atlantic subpopulations are critically endangered, not just endangered. So obviously just to the east of the United States and South America are the most critically endangered, those subspecies. But everywhere around the world they are endangered, and they are very, very beautiful sharks. If you watch that video, I really enjoy sharks, so I think watching them swim and attack and how they interact, I think is just beyond cool. So the fact that these sharks are being just cut down for many different reasons is just very sad. So the threats, as I mentioned, they are listed as vulnerable or endangered on the IUCN Red List. That was back in 2006. They're overexploited. They're hunted past a point where they should be. They get entangled in fishing gear. Sometimes they're not even being the ones hunted. They're trying to get a meal, trying to get some tuna, mackerel, something along that lines, and they just get caught in the fishing gear. But about 23% of all sharks caught were said to be whitetips, and this is on purpose for their fins. As you can see in this bottom picture, it's kind of gruesome how they just cut off the fins and throw the rest of the water and just tear them down. They were once a worldwide species, but now they are definitely shrinking, and this needs to change. So for conservation efforts here, because they migrate so far, so frequently, it's hard to preserve. We need international treaties, so international water treaties, to not only stop, the United States in the Atlantic, but Japan and the Japanese waters over there. So all of those Asian countries to stop, as well with European countries as well. So we need those countries to be willing to stop this, as opposed to forcing it upon them, because forcing it upon them just causes for more issues later on. So those are my references there. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.